Hello and welcome back to Planet Stronghold Colonial Defence. Xavier! Oh, feels like I got curb stomped. Apt comparison. Captain, don't move him until I make sure he's alright. I have some emergency training, Mira. I felt that from here. Xavier, what were you thinking? I was trying to impress you. Guess it didn't work. I have good news. Both X-ray and sonic scan indicate Xavier is without damage. Tell that my back. I better get you some painkillers. Your muscles are certainly going to feel it come morning. Can someone give me a hand? Everyone's a comedian. Now how about some real help? Very well, but I fail to see what good my appendage will do. Lucius unscrews his hand, and it starts to creep towards Xavier, drawing a look of horror from the man's face. Alright, I'm up. Lucius, take your hand back. I have to agree, seeing it skitter along the ground was like something out of the Addams Family. Wireless control. Lucius can do that with his other limbs. That is the stuff of nightmares. Caden, please. Fine. Well, you know there are easier ways to get my attention, like, I don't know, talking to me? Well, normally, yes, but with what I wanted to ask you, well, I was hoping to put my best foot forward. Instead of falling flat on your face? Everyone, can you please give us a few minutes? Sure thing, Captain. I'll go watch the shadows lengthen. And Lucius, no eavesdropping, even if Mira asked you to. Order acknowledged, Captain. Oh, looks like the Captain's going all maternal. Well played, Xavier. Go, scoot, now! Alright, take it easy, Xavier. Since the others are gone, can you tell me what the hell you were thinking? Look, I don't think it should come as a surprise that I like you. I mean, really like you. Except I don't know how to talk with you about it. You seem to be doing a fine job now. Yes, when everyone is gone, but it's a constant circus around you. And I get it, you're busy with military matters. And that doesn't include how hard it is talking to one who's your commanding officer. Makes it a bit tough to stand out, so handstand. Well, I'm here now. But you do another foolhardy stunt like that again and I'll break your neck myself. That'll be one step closer to holding hands. Xavier, my patience isn't limitless, but if you're joking, you must be doing better. Sorry about that. So, Captain, I have a question. Look, I think I've made it fairly clear I'm interested in you. Is there any chance you feel the same way? No. Sorry, but no. As I said, while I appreciate the work that apparently went into coding all the jealousy scenes, because he spent quite a while complaining about how difficult they are to do on Twitter. No, Xavier, I don't feel the same way, I'm sorry. I had a feeling that might be the case, but it's better to ask and to know than not know. Alright everyone, you can come on back. I detect an increase of blood pressure and a flush to your face. Perhaps I misdiagnosed. Do you need me to carry you to the infirmary? No, Lucius. I'm physically fine, really. Something else happened. Lucius, something you can't really help with. Mira, if you happen to have those painkillers on hand, I'd think you're an angel from on high. I feel really bad about all the broken hearts I'm leaving, but, you know. As you enter the science lab, you see Mira conducting an experiment with cards of myriad symbols and squiggles. Opposite her, Caden and Gracelia are seated with wires running to their arms and heads. Alright, Gracelia, what's the symbol on the card? Can't you do something to change up these tests, Mira? After the umpteenth millionth time, I could do these in my sleep. It's the Rhine test. Is it the Rhine test, this one? No, the Rhine test uses a bog standard pack of 52 playing cards. It's basically you hold it up and, you don't show it to the person and they've got to tell you what the card is. And the more times they get it right, the more, psychic they are. Statistically speaking, they'll guess one or two of them, by pure random chance. Especially if you don't, if you leave the cards out, they have a better and better chance of getting it right because they know what cards are left in the pack, if that makes sense. You have my sympathy. This time you're doing more than establishing a baseline. With the changes I've implemented, we can detect which neural pathway activates your psionic power. Is there a purpose behind this testing, Mira? With this research, we should be able to allow psionics in the general population, not just with a lucky dice roll of genetic dice. Alright, I'm sold. The card you're holding is a 5-pointed star. While Caden's busy imagining you as his high school teacher, and you pick him out of the students suggestively with a riding crop. That's quite enough, thank you, Griselia. No, I wasn't, Mira, honest. Then you should daydream less vividly. Oh, now with Captain Diana. Oh, you're creative, I'll grant you that. I thought you weren't supposed to read my mind. In the context of this study, it's quite alright. I'm getting some amazing data. I think I've narrowed down where telepathy occurs. So, Caden is some kind of support? You could say that. We know a traumatic event can spur the appearance of psionic abilities. I hope by giving Caden the proper stimulation will elicit an appropriate response. Providing his libido doesn't get in the way. Alright, Caden, what symbol is on the card? Triangle? Mira reaches over to a knob and Caden's eyes track her hands. His expression hardens, and he looks like he's about to say something. Oh, that fucking hurt! You are supposed to try and read my mind, not guess. Wrong answers elicit pain. Have you people been watching the opening of Ghostbusters or something? Yeah, but I didn't volunteer to have my brain cooked. Besides, if I'm supposed to read your mind, shouldn't you also be wired up? If I'm reading your mind, you should have some incentive to project as well. That makes sense to me, since there are two people involved. That won't work, though. I can't read the mirror's mind. In fact, I get too close, it hurts. Alright, then if you can't read Mira's mind, how the hell am I supposed to? It's actually a good point, Caden. I just assumed you'd be able to. Looks like you need to get someone else to help you study. It won't happen again, I promise you. So how did you read my card, Griselia? I could just focus on the card itself. I guess we'd call it a form of clairvoyance. And I'll have to bear in mind your brain signals were for clairvoyance, not telepathy. So who else will help with the research? I don't mind giving a hand, but I'm not going to let you shock me for no good reason. We need someone Griselia can read as well. I would leave Lucius out. Sorry, but while I can roughly sense them, the electricity they produce, that's about it. As far as my psionics go, Lucius really is a blind spot. Well, what about the Captain? Or Samuel? The Captain? Both of them, actually. The minds are almost as different as yours. Except, well, yours is like static, theirs is like a deep pool of calm. But as for Samuel, I can read him, no problem. Good, and he has the background to run a complete test. So what about wiring the person holding the card? That is a very valid point, and shall be done. I hope Samuel understands this will be in the name of science. I can think of the number of people who shouldn't be a pair of scissors, let alone psionics. Is it wise to make available for everybody? Actually, I think it is. If something is restricted, like power, then you inevitably get someone who will grow drunk with their power. Whereas, if we get to the point that anyone can do it, then people like Griselia won't be distrusted, or demonized. If it means that some kid doesn't get tortured to manifest their abilities, I consider that a win in of itself. So, Captain, if given the opportunity, would you like to join our program? Our own records show great scientific potential in you and your sibling. Only after some further research. I don't want to be some experimental mistake. Please, I've carefully calibrated the electric shocks so their effects are minimal. My eyes are still seeing yellow, Mira. Yellow! Well, Captain, I must ask you to leave while I rework the parameters of this experiment. And get rid of that smell of burnt elm hair. Jesus Christ. Yes, because that's how you fix everything. Electric shocks. Hey, Captain. Thanks for coming along. I really appreciate it. Think nothing of it. However, could you refresh my mind about what we're doing? By the way, in case you haven't noticed, the only way I can do the French accent is by doing the outrageous French accent. The only French accent that we British people can do. The one that I'm pretty sure no Frenchman has ever actually had. Well, that's the thing. Why isn't it racist for me to do the dodgy French accent? It kind of is, but it's, you know, it's just it's a thing. I don't, you know, in the same way that we don't mind when the French do a massively over-the-top English accent, which no English person has ever had, they don't seem to mind it when we do this one. So it's all about, you know, impersonating other cultures is fine, providing that it's not done in an insensitive way. As long as they don't have a problem with it, then there should be no issue. That's pretty much my take on it. Anywho, The drill to one of our boring machines stopped working, and as the crew tried to back up, the tunnel came crashing down. And we have to save them. Correct. Maybe if they had a drill on their arse end. What do you expect me to do though? Shovel them out? That wouldn't work. Unless you wanted to have a bunch of corpses on your hands. No, I have some explosive which should allow us to access the border. And I guarantee there's only a 10% chance of us being buried alive. That's better odds than buying a lottery ticket. Have faith in me. I mean, I've always come out just fine. I have to say, I'm glad to serve under you. I've had officers... Well, let's just say they would have no problem sacrificing anyone to save their own neck. Of course, if they tried that with me, there would be a recent opening of another officer, especially when they didn't find the previous one. Your speculation is quite good, Captain. Speculation. Interesting word choice. Well, say anything else could be admittance, one of which could be used against me. However, to answer your previous question, you're indeed muscle, but not in the manual labour sense. Rather, we're close to metric territory, so I'll be expected to make rubble if we're bothered. Exactly. I mean, I could do it on my own, but it's hard to fix a borer while fending off stone fists. It is always hard to do two things at once, especially when one of them is trying to kill you. Very true. I should probably have asked this before, but are you claustrophobic? Odd question to ask, but I'm fine with enclosed spaces. Ah, that's good. The miners are reporting matrix in the vicinity, and you don't want to engage in a tunnel fighting while dealing with a phobia. Tunnel fighting, eh? Sounds fun. Either way, current deck's invalid for this mission. Ah, have to have Christoph with me, okay. What's Christoph got in his thing? Nothing that I'm... Okay. Nothing that'll affect the way the deck's actually built, so that's fine. What does gambling do? Gain 1 to 3 credit resource at random. Okay. I've got 2 credits, 2 personnel. Okay, I'm gonna get the flamethrower turret up immediately. Because that's a good standard defense. And get a robo-ant up there, because of course it can double hit. And have him supported by a regular infantryman. He says as he gets a bad case of the hiccups. Oh, for Pete's sake. Alright, Mr. Robo-ant. Destroy that, please. And destroy that. Infantryman, fire on the metric leader. Okay, if I deploy a Robo-ant now, I can still deploy a Grenadier unit next turn, so that's fine. So you guys pile on. And deploy the Grenadier unit, who can blow up that one. And then they can absolutely murder this guy, so I'm just going to take the opportunity to kill him. And everybody else pile on. Lovely job. Keep an eye out for any other foe. No, Captain. The scanners aren't picking anything else up. What about the miners? Are they surface bound? They are on their way. In fact, they should already be there. What was the problem? Would you believe bad ball bearings? The tolerance for those things can be unforgiving. So, do we have time to make a few credits? This would amount to looting, and you know how I feel about that. Ah, Captain. Way to oppress someone trying to make a dishonest credit. At least he admits right off the bat that it's dishonest. Either way, that's a reasonable point to end this part. Before we head into our last 2 conversations, so... I will say thank you very much for watching, and I will see you in the next part.